Arrivée à 23 ans, j'avais tout de la jeune femme entreprenante et inspirante. J'étais engagée, dévouée, je fédérais des dizaines de personnes autour d'initiatives, j'en accueillais des centaines dans d'autres. Mais j'étais malade, et je ne prenais pas autant soin de moi que je le pensais. Le cœur brisé, un deuil, la trahison, l'épuisement, l'incapacité de comprendre un corps déréglé, le burn-out. J'avais disparu. Dépersonnalisation, dégoût, défensive, mal-être. Un jour, la crise de nerfs. La convalescence, l'absence, et soudain le retour. Je suis revenue à moi avec la curiosité de reprendre tout à zéro, en accord avec ce que j'ai toujours été, en dehors de ce à quoi j'ai toujours été attachée. Alors je suis partie, avec l'envie de reprendre confiance en l'être humain. À partir de cette décision, j'étais redevenue moi, Myriam Toumi, l'optimiste, celle qui voit en l'autre la possibilité d'un futur positif. C'est ainsi qu'au fur et à mesure, je les ai rencontrés, mes miroirs, ceux qui allaient nourrir l'espoir que j'avais en moi en me confiant le leur. Le plus difficile n'a pas été de les trouver, ni de les enregistrer, mais d'à mon tour prendre la parole pour partager la leur. Je veux de nouveau faire partie de la solution, et je suis convaincue que la rencontre et le partage sont des remèdes. Ils l'ont été pour moi, alors ils peuvent l'être pour d'autres. Aujourd'hui, je suis Myriam Toumi et j'ose. En route pour l'une des plus célèbres plages californiennes, afin de découvrir l'une des personnes les plus souriantes qu'il m'ait été donné de rencontrer.
Hey, my name is Jennifer Leticia. I'm 26 years old and we're here at Venice Beach.
Je n'avais rencontré Jennifer que 3 jours auparavant et je savais peu de choses d'elle, si ce n'est qu'elle ne venait pas d'ici. Alors, je lui ai demandé comment elle était arrivée là.
I am not from Venice Beach. I actually moved from Dallas about a year ago. So June 25th, it'll be my 1-year anniversary. So I decided to move from Dallas to LA October 2014. My life did a 360. My mom, she passed. I came home, I found her on the floor one night, and just things changed for me. A couple of months after that, I was homeless. I was living in my car, and the only thing that was really keeping me in Texas was my mom. My mom knew that I wanted to travel, and she always felt so bad that she always felt like she was keeping me from following my dreams. And I always told her, like, Mom, don't worry, I'll take care of you as long as you need me to. And by summertime last year, I'm like, what am I still doing here? I don't have a job, I don't have a house, my mom's no longer here, and I decided to just come to California.
J'apprends alors que Jennifer a perdu sa mère. Nous aurons l'occasion d'échanger plus tard sur la perte d'un parent. D'abord, j'aimerais me concentrer sur elle. Cette jeune femme qui a relevé ses manches pour dire oui à sa vie. Je m'intéresse aussi au système américain. Et je lui demande alors pourquoi elle a dormi dans sa voiture.
I had background issues that were preventing me from finding good jobs. There was a lot of great jobs that wanted to hire me, but they just never could because of my background. So I was stuck making like $11 an hour, which isn't much to live off on. So, we were living with my uncle at the time, and whenever I found my mom, I didn't want to live there anymore. And here I am feeling like, okay, I'm a grown woman. By that time, I had lost my job, so I couldn't find another job that would pay me more than I was already receiving for unemployment. So I'm like, do I want to go work for 40 hours a week and then get the same amount that I'm getting without having to work? So it was just hard. I couldn't find a job. At that time I wasn't willing to do sales, so I was just sleeping in my car. I had enough to pay my car note, and for me that was my rent. There probably were options that could have helped me at the time, but I was just so lost with what was happening around me that I just couldn't really see where I was going. I couldn't see anything besides, my mom is gone, I can't find a job, and I'm lost, so it really was starting to take a toll on me to where I couldn't see past just getting unemployment. So I slept in my car because first, I was 25, and then it's kind of embarrassing, like, hey, I didn't want to look at be a charity case, like, oh, feel bad for her. Her mom just died. Let's help her out. I was like, no, I had too much pride, and I was able to take care of my car note. So for me, I was like, this is my rent. I'll sleep in my car. Here are my clothes in my trunk. Here's my water bottle and my toothbrush. It works. I didn't want people in my business. I was too embarrassed by what I was going through.
Jennifer était perdue. Paradoxalement, elle vivait dans un moyen de locomotion qui chaque jour pouvait lui inspirer un nouveau voyage. Un jour, elle a choisi Los Angeles. Alors, je lui demande comment elle a fait ce choix.
So, what's crazy is something like a voice was just came out of nowhere and said, just come to California. I didn't know if it was going to be LA initially. I didn't know if it was going to be San Diego, Sacramento. I didn't know. Just something said, come to California. And it ended up me coming to LA, but I had no plan. I had no plan at all. It was just a little voice saying, just take that step, and I just followed it.
Je suis admirative du peu que je viens d'apprendre sur Jennifer, et je suis curieuse d'entendre l'histoire de ses premiers jours dans son nouvel environnement.
So when I first got to LA, what's funny is I was actually born in LA, but when I think I was like maybe 1 or 2, it was when I was a baby, my parents moved me to Dallas, to the Dallas area. So I hadn't been back to California since then up until 2014. I came to visit. It was in March of 2014. I was visiting, I was looking at the beach, and I was like, you know what, I have to move here. I have to move here. And so at that point when I came back, I'm like, Mom, we have to move to California. The most important thing for you right now is to be with your family and be close to God. So from March 2014 up until my mom had passed, I was trying to make a way for us to move out here. And things just happened to where she just didn't come along with me, not physically at least. But yeah, when I first moved, I took a leap of faith. Didn't think that I was going to end up in LA. So when I first arrived in LA, the first thing that I did was I went to Santa Monica. It was like 6:30 in the morning, so nobody was really there. And I drove up and got out my car, and I'm looking at the beach, and I'm like, I'm really here. Like, I'm looking at the beach. And I just remember staring at the water like, I am like 1,300 miles away from home. What am I doing? I don't know what's next. But something was excited in me, excited for a new beginning, because I had nothing in Dallas. And if I'm going to sleep in my car, I might as well sleep by the beach.
L'océan. Encore une fois, il a marché comme un aimant pour le début du reste de la vie de quelqu'un. Je demande alors à Jen de continuer son histoire.
So, when I first moved, I initially did not start looking for a job. The first 2 weeks, I was honestly just taking everything in. I was walking up and down the beach every day, just taking in my surroundings, just shocked at the fact that I actually took that leap of faith, because I didn't think that I was, It was the first time in my life that I ever did so. But the 2 weeks after that, I started looking for a job like crazy, and I ended up finding 2 jobs in 2 weeks. It's kind of funny. So the first 2 weeks when I started looking for a job, I was literally waking up and then going to sleep, applying for jobs, constantly, from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. Because I'm like, I don't need to stop. I need to find a job, And so what happened is, I remember it was a Thursday. I was tired. I was like, you know what? One day I'm going to take off. I only applied for 2 jobs that day, 2. And what's funny is the same day, I remember sitting outside watching the sky, and this California number calls me. I pick up, and one of the jobs I applied for, they wanted me to come in for an interview the next day, that Friday. And so I went in for the interview, and I ended up getting the job, and they wanted me to start on Monday. They were like, how early can you start? I wanted to say, I'll start right now if I can, But they said, I told them Monday, and they got everything done for me, and I started the paperwork for that, and they told me that they'd see me on Monday. So as soon as I get home, that second job that I applied for on Thursday, the only other job that I applied for, they called me and they wanted an interview. I let them know that I just got a full-time job, that I could still work for them part-time. And then so we scheduled the interview for that Saturday, and then they wanted me to start the following Saturday. So I went from working no days a week to working 7 days. What I did here, I know a lot of people probably, in LA, there's so many different possibilities to find jobs. What I did was, because I didn't really have, money, and I didn't have, a way to get around and know where I was going, I just applied on Craigslist. I would just Craigslist all day, every day, Simply Hired, like all these different job search engines like online. I was just online. My eyes would hurt from watching the computer like all day, but I was like, I can't sleep until I find a job, you know?
Je m'interroge une fois de plus sur le fonctionnement du système américain. Le fait de ne pas avoir d'adresse n'avait donc pas pénalisé Jen pour trouver un travail?
I guess I should rewind really quick, because what happened is I do have family out here, but we weren't really close. And so when I came out here, people didn't know that I was actually like moving until I made the announcement on Facebook. And I have a brother, and out here who I'm living with now, and he called me one night as I'm actually like sleeping in my car. He's like, "Hey Jen," he's like, "How long are you visiting for?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not visiting, you know, I moved." He's like, "What, you moved?" And he told me, he's like, "I don't know your living situation, but you can stay with me." And I was over there like, yes, you know, but I had to play it cool, you know. I can't be like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm sleeping in my car right now." So I was like, "Oh, thank you. I'll think about that. Thank you," you know, just play it off, right? And so the next day I call him like, "You know what, I was just considering what you said yesterday, and I think that would be a great idea. I didn't want to seem like I was desperate," you know what I mean? And so then I told him, you know, I asked him when I could, you know, move in, and we made the arrangements to move in like the next day. So luckily, when I was applying for jobs, I was able to give them a home address because I had somewhere that I was staying. And it's funny because like 3 days after I moved in with him, they ended up repoing my car. So it's crazy how the universe works when you take that first step. Yeah.
Maintenant que Jennifer m'a expliqué ce qui l'avait amenée ici et décrit les premières étapes de sa vie à Los Angeles, je lui demande le bilan de sa première année en Californie.
Man, it's going to be my year anniversary of being in California on June 25th, and I love it here. There's so many possibilities. Like, no matter what you're trying to do, you can make it happen here. There's someone here who can help you get to where you're trying to get to. You know, there's so many people here who have to hustle because it is so hard to live out here. The cost of living is so high, and there's so many different people from all over the world. I love it, you know. I want to travel, so being around all these different people with all these different backgrounds and cultures, it just makes this place so much more beautiful. And then plus, like I said, the beach, you know, you can never get over the beach.
Cette sérénité que dégage Jennifer me touche, et je lui demande si en à peine un an, elle a réussi à former un nouvel entourage, et comment.
Honestly, I meet a lot of people on social media. That's where I meet all these different people, and I'm connecting with people online. When I was here, when I was working the part-time job that I was able to get on, it was actually here on the beach, on Venice Beach. So that's how I was able to meet all these different people from all over, because someone's always visiting and you're like, "Where are you from?" You know, that's like the first thing you want to ask, like, "Where are you from?" We would get everything. I think I've heard almost every single country, like from people in the Middle East, people coming from countries in Africa, people coming from Australia, places in Europe, just everywhere. Everyone has to come visit Venice Beach whenever they come to Cali, you know? So for me, being able to work part-time on the beach really opened my eyes to how much diversity there is here.
La réponse de Jen m'amuse. Je lui confie mon impression sur les Américains, qui me semble très avenant et qui demande rapidement à l'autre son identité sur les réseaux sociaux. Après tout, je me dis que c'est une manière d'être ouvert à l'autre, et que plus l'on s'ouvre à l'autre, plus on a de chances de faire de bonnes rencontres. Étrangement, parler de cette ouverture au monde me fait penser à notre connexion au mort. Je confie alors à Jen comment les 3 années qui ont suivi la mort de mon père, je prenais la pluie comme une salutation de sa part. À son tour, Jennifer me confie la connexion qu'elle a avec sa mère.
So, like, you know, I do carry my mom everywhere with me. A lot of who I am today is because of her. She always taught me, she always planted those seeds of belief in me before I believed in myself. You know, she would always tell me, "I'm so proud of you." She called me Poopy, so she would be like, "I'm so proud of you, Poopy." Like, and I used to ask her. I remember one time I asked her, I'm like, "Why? What am I doing? You know, I you know, don't have a college degree. I'm not at this great sounding title job, you know." But she was just proud of me for being me. And she always told me to follow my dreams. Don't listen to what anyone else says. Like, do what you want to do what makes you happy. And if there was ever anyone in my life who went against that, what I wanted to do, her top lip would start to get scrunched up, like she was passionate about that, you know? And so I do carry her with me everywhere I go, because now the more and more I'm living life true to who I am, I see what she was trying to tell me. You know, it's about you, doing what makes you happy, and not caring about anybody else, because life is too short. You know, like we act like we live like all these multiple lives, like we're like cats and have 9 lives. Like, no, you know, we have to live our life doing what makes us happy with the people that we are happy with. And one of the things that I always wanted to be like my mom, because she was a very strong, independent woman, you know. And I remember thinking, like, how does she know all these people? It seemed like no matter where we went, we could be in a different state at a random store, and then someone would be like, Dorothy Collier? And then I'm like at her knees, and I'm like looking up at them like, how do you know my mom? You know, like she knew all these different people, and like people, like influential and powerful people. And you know, at her funeral, the one thing that everybody said was that, you know, she wanted to help people. And we both have that in us. You know, we're all about helping others and spreading love. And you know, the more and more I'm living life, I'm realizing that, you know, I'm just like her. I just didn't realize it yet. So I try to carry her with me where I go, and so that way people, they might not have known my mom, but they're gonna know her through me, you know. So yeah, that's why I carry her everywhere with me. My heart beats with hers.
Nous échangeons encore un peu sur ce sujet, en rigolant de ce que nous venions de partager. Je continue en confiant ce qui finalement m'avait fait le plus mal dans ce deuil. Non pas le fait d'avoir perdu quelqu'un de proche, mais celui d'avoir perdu la seule personne qui me disait régulièrement qu'elle m'aimait et qu'elle était fière de moi. La personne à qui je faisais tellement confiance que j'ai construit quasiment tous les repères dans ma vie en fonction de ce qu'elle m'apprenait jour après jour. Cette solitude que l'on a quand on perd son mentor.
You don't get used to when it comes to your parents, they've been there since they're the ones who were literally there from day one, before you can even remember anything. So for those people to be gone, that's definitely, you know, that's harder than I feel like it's still hard, but for me it's just harder because I have had, you know, deaths with people that are close to me, but you know, like your mom, and like you said, the only people who say I love you or I'm proud of you, because literally that was like the one person who told me I love you every day and told me I'm proud of you every single day. You know, still to this day, I still don't get that, you know. So it's always that little piece that's just like not exactly the same. And yeah, I agree. You know, I know that wasn't a question, but yeah, I agree with you. It's hard.
Il semble que j'ai envie de partager beaucoup à ce sujet avec Jennifer. Après tout, le but est bien celui de partager, et non pas de surgir dans la vie d'un inconnu, lui poser des questions et s'en aller. Alors je lui parle de ce malaise que j'avais de me retrouver seule, jusqu'à ce que petit à petit, je réévalue la force de mon entourage, pour enfin me réveiller confiante de nouveau, et surtout consciente de toutes les opportunités que la vie avait encore à me proposer. Enfin, je demande à Jen si elle aurait un conseil à donner à ceux qui traversent la même épreuve.
For anyone who's ever lost a parent, we all have, you know, different relationships with our parents. You know, they could have been there, maybe they weren't there, maybe it was hard. It was hard with you guys trying to get along. Maybe it was you guys were best friends. And it can happen at like different stages. You know, some of us never knew our parents. Maybe they died before we can remember, you know. Some of them are there until like when we have our own families and our own kids, but it all still hurts the same. And it's okay to hurt. And don't have any regrets. You know, don't feel like it was your fault. Don't beat yourself up over something that will naturally happen to all of us. Just know that while you're going through those moments where you feel lost, where you feel alone, you are not alone. I feel like those of us who have lost a parent, it's like we have like this special connection because we can all relate to each other, because we're going through something that maybe not a lot of the people that we're associated with now have been through, you know. And always reach out. It's okay. Like, if you're sad, cry. Don't feel, grief is different for everybody, so don't feel like you should be over it, you know, in a couple of months or even a couple of years. You know, everybody, it's like, I read a quote somewhere that, like, it's just as individual as our fingerprint, you know, that we're going to deal with things differently because you are you. But don't allow yourself to fall into a hole that you cannot get back out of. I know some people who have lost, you know, one of their loved ones, and their life kind of just fell apart after that. It's sometimes things happen to where things fall apart, but don't allow yourself to stay there. And always just be true to how you feel, and just know that it's only up from there.
J'aime les mots positifs de Jen. Et avant notre rendez-vous, j'avais remarqué qu'elle postait beaucoup de choses dans ce sens sur les réseaux sociaux. Je lui demande alors comment elle a commencé de la sorte.
You know, online I'm really big about, you know, spreading positivity, spreading love. I feel like, at least from what I've seen, there's too much negativity that's promoted, you know. On Facebook, you know, what you can see a lot of, you know, like fights being, you know, liked, shared, commented. You can see a lot of things about just hate and fear, you know. That's just, people make it seem like it's the end of the world, you know. And there's so many people in the world right now that are all about love and positivity. And sometimes we just have to shine bright so that way people can realize that there are others shining just as bright. You know, I wasn't always positive. I wasn't always positive. It wasn't that long ago, you know. I used to wake up mad. Like, literally, I would wake up and I would already have an attitude. Like, I would wake up, get out of the bed, throw the covers, like, and I would just be upset. You know, some people are just like, "What? You?" Yeah, I used to be that mad, but it's because I focused on things that I couldn't change, or things that I felt like should be a certain way, instead of just digging deep in my heart and realizing that there's love there, and that's what I need to nurture, you know. I need to find that love in myself and show others, you know, because love is seriously like a powerful emotion, and love is what changes the world, you know. Love changes hearts. Love changes people's outlook on life. It changes just so many different things, you know. And love changes hardened hearts. And I feel like the more of us that get together and spread love, the better the world will be, you know. I grew up around, let me say this, I decided to associate myself with people who weren't so positive, that complained a lot, that kind of fed into the hate too much. And the moment I started to change that, the moment my world started to change, and then I started to help change others. But that's why I'm really about that on social media, you know, because there needs to be more of us coming together, because that's what changes lives, you know. That's what creates true change in the world. So, plus that's what my mom believed in, so I carry her everywhere I go.
Je ne sais pas si ce sont les hormones ou l'émotion que me transmet Jennifer, mais je suis à 2 doigts de m'évanouir. Alors je m'assois au sol et rassure Jen. Je cherche ma dernière question, mais impossible de trouver mes mots. Je suis en fait très surprise, car cela faisait très longtemps que je n'avais pas eu de vertige. Je me relève et d'un coup pose ma question à Jen, de manière aussi impromptue qu'elle m'était revenue. Cette positivité incarne-t-elle une façon de vivre?
Yeah, like being positive and spreading love, you attract who you are, right? And I want more of those kinds of people in my life. You know, I want to attract people who are about love, people who are positive, because then we can all, it's like a whole bunch of, we're all holding candles, right? And maybe you can't see our individual candles is like if it's just one person out here and then one person way over there, but when we all come together, then that's when you can really see us, you know, the more and more of us that are holding that candle. And so I just want to inspire people to know that they are capable of anything, you know, that they can follow their dreams, and that's okay, you know, that it's okay to be you and do what you want to do in the world, because there's like 7 billion people on the planet. You know, we're not all going to live the same life. I want to inspire people to be good to other people, because we need, you can never have a shortage of beautiful souls in the world that are, you know, inspiring others to do good for each other, you know, regardless of your beliefs, or, you know, if you don't believe in a creator. I know that we all have the same creator, so whether, you know, I'm sure we can all agree on that we all came from the same place. So no matter what, I respect you, because even if it's not because of who you are, but because of who created you. And the creator, he just wants us to love each other. So I feel like that's like my purpose almost, you know. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in life, but I do feel like that's a big part of my purpose.
Voilà que je me rassois. Autant de beauté me fait tomber par terre. Je suis reconnaissante envers moi-même d'avoir fait ce voyage et parlé à ces inconnus. Je suis reconnaissante envers Jennifer de me donner tant de sa magie. Il faut absolument que les gens la connaissent. J'ai énormément de mal à trouver mes mots en anglais pour simplement lui demander comment la suivre en ligne.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You can find me on like all social media platforms at I am Jen Leticia. So that's IAMJENNLETICIA. And then on Facebook, you can find me with my name, Jennifer Leticia. So JENNIFER, last name LETICIA.
Comme à chaque fois, il me reste à laisser s'exprimer la personne en face de moi sur le sujet de son choix.
If I could say anything, is that constantly work on being a better you than you were yesterday. You know, always stunt on the old you, because the more that we become, the more that we can bring into our life. You know, and it's a daily thing. You know, every day our minds are being fed with something, whether that's the people that we hang around, whether that's you know, social media, whether that's TV and media. You know, no matter what it is, we're constantly being fed something. You know, every day, feed something positive, feed something that's going to help you grow. Because just because we stop growing physically, it doesn't mean that we have to stop growing emotionally, mentally, you know, spiritually, financially, you know, whatever it is. You know, just be great. No matter what you go through in life, just remember that life has a funny way of making things work out. So even though you might not understand something right now, it's trust that it's working out for the best in your life. So be great, always spread love, and go out there and do what's true, you know, and be you, because there's nobody else in the world that has your gift. So that's all I had to say.
Je n'aurais pas dit mieux, et pour cause, je suis complètement sonnée. Jennifer est épatante et nous rappelle qu'il ne tient qu'à nous de l'être. À moi de vous souhaiter la plus audacieuse des vies et la plus belle des histoires à raconter.
Sick of feeling so damn tired. Sick of feeling uninspired. With myself, wanna sail across the ocean. Wanna feel some new devotion to my head. Wanna rise up with a new day. Smile in a new way. Know my worth. Wanna believe in happy. Wanna start a chain reaction across the earth.